After I graduated, life got real. And it was, I want to say, like the summer of 2013 that I was introduced to heroin.
Welcome to this week's edition of Recovery Happens. My name is Patrick Patterson, Center Manager for BW Rock. Today we're going to be sitting down with Ashleigh as she offers hope to encourage recovery.
So growing up, I didn't really have like too hard of a childhood. We definitely struggled here and there, but I can remember there was a time when I definitely felt like a black sheep. I can remember specifically being in 5th grade. It was springtime, we were outside for recess and all the kids are playing, on like the jungle gym. And I remember sitting on the pavement looking at these kids as if it was through a window. I could understand what I was looking at, but there was like a sense of disconnect. I never felt like I really fit in, and I craved that, I wanted to feel like I could be around these kids, but I felt like there was so much weight on my shoulders, and I didn't understand what that was at such a young age. So I started using at about 12. That was when I had my first drink. It was with some friends at a party. I got blackout drunk and I woke up and I couldn't remember what had happened, but that was a sense of relief in itself. It was a moment of like escape, I wasn't carried around with that constant fear of like self-doubt. What did I say? How did I act? Was I dressed okay? Did people accept me? And I used a lot just to feel normal. It gave me the courage to interact with other people. At the time, I thought that's what was helping, and it just got worse and worse. When I was 16 years old, I moved out of my mother's house. She didn't know about my drug use, but that was a big thing, was I couldn't do the things that I had wanted to do. I couch hopped for the remainder of school, so that was like 6 or 7 months, and it got really, really bad in that time. After I graduated, life got real. And it was, I want to say, like the summer of 2013 that I was introduced to heroin. And within a few months, it progressed so bad that I was not allowed to stay with any of my friends. My family wouldn't talk to me. I was doing things I didn't want to do just to get and use my drugs. On March 6, 2014, I had had enough. I was homeless, it was freezing, I was living in a car. That's when I decided to reach out to a couple family members and get honest and tell them what was going on. And straight up, flat out told them I was gonna die if I keep doing what I'm doing. They told me to hang tight, they would get a hold of me the next day and we would figure it out. So the next day came, that thought completely vanished from my mind. I started to feel sick again. I knew what I needed to do, and I had set out doing that. I was waiting for my ride to go down to the city, and a gentleman, we were at a library, I remember this. We were at a library, and this gentleman had come inside, and he said, "Ashleigh, I need to talk to you." I kind of knew who he was. He was a friend of mine. It was his youth group leader at a church. I had never had like a specific conversation with him. I knew of him. So I went outside and I was talking to him, and he told me that he could help me, and I remember sitting there thinking, I don't need help, I'm fine. It wasn't until he looked me dead in the eye and he said, "God knows that you asked for help and he sent me here to help you." And I remember looking at him and telling him, I didn't ask your God for anything. He responded to me that God knows you didn't ask him directly, but he heard your cry. He said, and he sent me here to help you. And in that moment, I knew that something was looking out for me, And I decided to go with it. And I'm very grateful that in that moment, I made that decision. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have. He took me away from the people that I was with. We went to a Walmart parking lot. He called a woman that he was very close with so that I would feel more comfortable. And I remember sitting with this woman, and I just felt so free that I didn't have to do this on my own, and that a complete stranger was so willing to help me. They took me back to their home. And I remember I started going into detox, and I was sweating. I was so sick to my stomach. I had body aches. I was laying on their couch, and this woman showed me such compassion. She brought me like Tylenol. She brought me a bottle of water. She bought me a little waste basket in case I got sick. And they started looking up treatment centers on their phone. It's about 10 o'clock at night when all of this is going on. They called the number, couldn't get a hold of anybody, so we decided to drive there. When we got there, it was 11:30 at night, and I remember sitting there in their vehicle, and I'm like, this isn't going to work out. It's too late. They're closed. I'm going to have to come back. But here's the thing. If I come back, I'm not going to have this sense of urgency that I need to do this now. We didn't know which door to go in, so we walked around the building, knocking on all the doors until somebody finally answered. He was one of the staff members, and he took a look at me, and he's like, come on in. And at that moment, he had started like the intake process, and I was able to get into treatment on March 7th of 2014. And since that day, I have not picked up because I don't ever want to go back to accepting the fact that my drug use is going to kill me. I don't ever want to feel like that again. I don't know, like everything that I have is a gift. I get to wake up every day and to see my daughter and see my son, and I get to go to bed and realize that I'm trying to make a difference in some way, and that to me is a gift in itself.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Recovery Happens. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please give us a call. If you'd like to donate to the cause of recovery, please visit our website and click Donate. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Vision Quest Recovery.